I think we are live. One moment, please. Yeah, okay. So, welcome everyone. We are back on the championship. As you can see, we haven't started yet. I got the sign to ready up, and we have to wait till 45 because Smith just told us. But I thought everyone was ready, so I started it before, but it gives me some time to explain why you can see F1 World Car and not the normal cars as we used to. So this will be a bit difficult, and I hope there's enough clarity on who's driving what team. We will find out soon. But yeah, Codemasters basically messed up with the equal cars performance, which means that we will have to go back to F1 World Cars. Now the positive about F1 World Cars is that there have been some special liveries released in the past. For example, no, these are not my correct ones, but we've had the McLaren, I think, we had the Red Bull, we had the Williams, we had the Ferrari, the Alpha. Apart from that, it's a bit more difficult to understand, but hopefully we'll know who's driving what team. We also have some reserves though, so I need to have a look into who is driving what team. But yeah, we will find our way. At least I know Giralov and Entity are in the Williams, Smith and Matty are in the Mercedes. Razor or Birch is a reserve. Leaky is in the Alpine. Stubby was in the Haas, I think. Kieran is in the McLaren. Then we got both Alfa Romeos, Rusty and Raika. And then apart from that, I need to have a look into who is driving for what team. But we're almost all there, so that should be alright. And hello everyone in the chat. I'm sorry for my voice as well. I've got a bit of a cold here, and yeah, so I've got a running nose, but nothing we could do about it because I'm fine to do commentating, but it's still not ideal. So if there's any trouble or you hear me lag out maybe, then you know what I'm doing, trying to well clean up a bit, you could say. So Julia is in the chat. He's saying he's driving for Red Bull as a reserve. Ah, you made a McLaren Chrome livery. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, I don't have the Triple Crown livery, I think, as well, because that week I was away on holiday, if I remember correctly, and I didn't understand how to get it at first, so I don't have that one. But I'm driving a Williams, and now the Singapore livery, which I really like, to be fair, is available. So yeah, I should be able to get that one for tomorrow at least. And then I also have another one, I think. Oh no, I don't have one, but we'll see. Yeah, hopefully you can make it past turn 1. And we are starting to get ready up now. In the meantime, I will have a look into who exactly is driving what team. And one second, please. As we're trying to get Entity in for quali, if that's possible. I was having a look at the reserves for... No, this is Japan, that's not what I want to see. There we go, Qatar. Yeah, so I think Fall Killer, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, is reserve for McLaren. And don't know where Gui is coming from, but I don't think he's a main driver as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 reserves. As Booty, Rodo, Simo, Scooter Clem, Becker, Huss and Lar will all declined. Yeah, so we're waiting for everyone to ready up, but for the first time actually as well, we're driving in Qatar, and this is the first time, and which is always fun, and I'm excited to see what it is racing on sim racing, as I've done this before when the game came out. I hope my sound is still alright, but maybe it's just me putting my sound down, which should be up right now. There's also no one else on track yet. Looking forward to see what everyone has made, but I really enjoyed this track. I like to race at this track, and I think it's one of the better ones they made actually. And I wasn't too sure what to think of when they started at racing at Qatar, but we have seen it in 21, but I wasn't sure what, 10 years of Qatar in real life, why not just do a normal track like Malaysia or something? But this is actually a normal track, and it's better than Las Vegas or something, another street track, as we see some cars on track, and this should be Kieran then, in his McLaren chrome livery. It looks more like a Ferrari, to be fair. It's a bit more red. Giraffe in the Williams, and this is Entity in the Williams as well. Don't know if I can switch to him. Oh, he's in the pit lane. Someone else is driving by. Gui is in the Audi, so he's a reserve, but I don't know what team is for. Razorbeard is actually the one in the Williams, but he is racing with the that's it, the British one. I have this one as well, but he's a reserve, so we don't need to look at that one. Here we have Populair. He's in the Triple Crown livery. One second, please. I will quickly invite someone to the party, which is probably why you will get a screen right now. Invite players. And I need to find him though. Where is he? Starts with RPM. There he is. So we will switch back to the game. There we go. Entity is out, and this is a nice livery of the Red Bull, or at least try to make something out of it. And I'm joined by one of the guys who's actually in this session.
Good evening. Yes, it's me, RPM Entity. I had a bit of damage from last week in Suzuka, so the garage just taking their time repairing the car, but I heard it's going to be all good for the race. It's definitely not a penalty or anything like that. It definitely couldn't be for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some problems with Williams. Rosie is also driving, so no one knows which team you're in. So you could just say it's a problem with the wrong car.
I could have had I not have selected the Williams livery nonetheless. So it's in one of the options, the classic livery. So yeah, slight giveaway on that. But either way, happy to be jumping into the comms booth with yourself, and hopefully get some good action here in qualifying. Obviously, I'll be cheering on my teammate Giraffe, and hoping that they can get the pole, which seems to be going to this man Stubby for the last few races.
He is the quick one at qualifying, but your teammate is the one who's winning the races, and I like to see that as a Williams driver, of course.
It is rather Williams-based bias, this commentary booth tonight at the moment, anyway.
No problem. I heard some other colleague of ours was driving an Alfa Romeo. I won't say anything else. Who has a bit of a bias to certain Alfa Romeo drivers, so it's fine. Let's have a look now in the Drivers' Championship. I was trying to do that, as yours not that far off, to be fair. Well, 40 points, but still 3 rounds. If Stubby and Giraffe crash, you're back into it.
It's a marathon, not a sprint, except for the sprint races, which are sprints.
They are. This is sprint next week. No, this not this one. Think in Brazil.
Yes, I believe it's in Brazil. I'm not sure which track is next, whether it's Vegas or Brazil. But
Oh, Vegas as well.
yeah, there's some interesting circuits coming up, and yeah, some I'm looking forward to. Some I maybe am not looking forward to as much as others.
Yeah, you could say that. Looking forward to Qatar though, as you probably have done preparation, I suggest. But
I haven't done too much. I think that's just been out of being a bit disappointed in myself in some of the incidents that have caused me to be not competing in qualifying right now and take a bit of a break away from the wheel. But we've changed some few things. In fact, it's a big plaudits to Stubby, who actually reached out to suggest ways to help with the race starts, and
yeah.
I'll be trying them today. So hopefully we'll be up the order quite early on.
Well, at least if you get a bad start, you won't crash into someone because there's no one behind you. I know that feeling, starting at the back. But yeah, it's I need to get used to these F1 World Cars.
Yeah, I just threw me as I saw Bircher racing in the Williams livery as well, the same as me, and I think Giraffe's going for a blue car as well. So it's going to be difficult to call and to keep an eye on as to who's who. And the other difficulty is going to be for the drivers themselves when going into the pits, that they don't end up finding themselves victim to a double stack.
Yeah, I sometimes I wonder what EA is doing. You know, that they don't test these updates, or because how can you mess up? I think this is the third time or the second time that they messed up with the performance of the equal cars, or was it not performance? I think, yeah. Yes,
and as the admin team, part of the admin team here at RPM, it is rather difficult for us through for at least that part. No fault of our own.
Yeah.
We are rather organised, though trying to organise parties in breweries is a bit difficult for us. But trying to then also do that whilst we're fending off any faults and malfunctions within the game itself by EA and Codemasters definitely create some unwanted work for us.
Yeah, that's true. But we're flexible in the work, so we make it work. We
always do.
Only 13 drivers as well, so not a lot to change, unfortunately, in the championship.
No, we've got a couple of reserves in here as well tonight, with Goey and Bircher as well, I believe, and Jeweler, I think, is reserving too.
Yeah, so the currently, apart from Leaky, the bottom three, you could say, well, apart from you, of course, are reserves, and then Roses or Bircher is a reserve. But yeah, your teammate 2.5 tenths behind.
Yes, I obviously speaking with Giraffe prior to going into into this lobby. We were doing some practice, and very much the talk of the town is very much how much wings is everyone else running. Everyone always wants to run less wings than the next person, so they can overtake them on the straight. But here, I think we find ourselves in a situation of trying to bait people to run less wings as you run really high wings.
Yeah, it's weird strategy. Like at tracks at Spa, of course, you know everyone will go as low as possible. But around here, it's I think I have the same in Suzuka, where some people are quick on the straights, but then other people are quick in like the first sector, the corners, of course, with more downforce. But here it's a bit like there's straights, but it's also corners, so
yes, I find the first sector there's not too much between a low and high downforce setup. In the middle sector, it favours your high downforce, high wings, definitely through that middle sector, and that's where a lot of time is. But in the final sector, your low wings, there's a lot of time to be at full throttle and a lot of time to gain there. So yes, but then obviously it all comes down to then your tyre wear, as we saw in first division, a few drivers struggling with that, going to softs really late on. to just get them through to the end of the session. Some trying to do the softs for the full 9 laps at the end, and even then that being a bit of a difficulty.
Yeah, we saw that in real life as well. The last time they raced there, that tire wear is a struggle. Of course, a lot is being asked from the tires during these high-speed corners. But currently, there's quite a big gap between Stubby and Giraffe. The championship, well, you could say the championship fight, of course. Only 2 points in between them, going into the final 3 rounds. But Matty closed in, seems like, but Raika is also on the lap.
Yeah, just watching Giraffe's lap there. He had a bit of a moment at the start of Sector 2, but his first sector was purple, so interesting to see if he's able... In fact, he's up quite considerably going into the final sector, so it might be worth watching Giraffe, who is not the next car, but the car after, to cross the line.
Oh, yeah. 410's up in the middle sector, but it says he's low on fuel, but that's because he's in his final lap. He needs at least 2. And I think he will go to pole position, but the question is Stubby's lap good enough to put it back? As there he goes, 8/10 improvement.
Oh wow, big jump! But what is Stubby, who's out there at the moment? What's he got in the tank to reply to that?
And it's also crucial because you get points for pole position, and it's so close between the 2 championship rivals. At any point in this final stage could matter between the title or finishing second. And here he comes to the line. Oh, he's not improved. Wow, 2/10 behind. So Giraffe taking it now, but look at Beertje, the other Williams.
Oh wow, yeah, big jumps. I think that we could be seeing track improvements as well as the drivers pushing harder. I don't think Stubb had quite the first sector he would have liked, but yeah, still a bit of a gap, but not too much between Giraffe and Stubb, and definitely not enough of a gap for Giraffe to put his feet up and potentially save a pair of softs.
Yeah, definitely, because 3/10s, but looking at how much everyone is gaining every lap, I wouldn't risk it.
So I'm presuming that Riker didn't complete a lap there, or he did and I didn't get to see it, but I'm seeing that Riker's the one that's dropped down the order after that run.
Yep. Yeah, I think he only improved by a 10th or so. As Leaky now across the line, the start-finish straight is very far, or start-finish line is very far up the straight.
It's a very long straight, and it's also a very long pit stop for the exact same reason that just the straight is a lot longer. It just keeps going and going and going, which is why it overtakes into that first corner, and even before the first corner is going to be the most likely site of overtakes, as I think every driver there going back into the pits just as Leaky has his in-lap. So worth talking about the driver standings and who we fancy. Obviously you watch along every week as you do the comms for us. Who do you think is the driver to beat tonight?
Well, I think it has to be Giraffe. I think he's in the lead. He's won the past 2 races. You could maybe starting a winning streak. You never know. Maybe in the F1 World Cars he found something else, extra performance, and it might take him further or closer to the championship. But I think I'm surprised Smith is down the order, because I always think that Smith is an outsider in these races, and yeah, well, he's currently like 2 seconds of pole position, and I wouldn't expect that from someone. Well, maybe your rival for P3 in the championship.
Yeah, well, we've always said that one with Smith, that he's not the greatest qualifier. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that. We call him Mr. Consistent. He knows exactly where to position his car, and he's a driver that will always be amongst it come the end. And another person who's really come into form for the same reason is Riker, as I mentioned there. Interesting to see him drop to 5th after that run, because you would fully expect to see Riker, I think,
up there
in the top 3 come the end of this qualifying.
Now, it's nothing against Beertje, but he of course is doing well in first division, but would you expect the likes of Matty, Riker, maybe Smith to be ahead of him, or is it just Beertje being too good for the first division, and he should be up there in championship because he's shown, I think last week as well and the week before, he's close in the qualifying at least.
Yes, well, he's definitely improved his pace. It was interesting watching along First Division and being in a party with Jones, who believed he could have beaten Beecher yesterday had they not have been caught in a tangle. But Beecher's one lap pace is definitely there. His race pace is showing that it's definitely coming along after picking up a couple of victories now in First Division and obviously getting the pole as well. So I think it's very much a bit of form and momentum, obviously being fresh out of doing this same race, doing this qualifying just 24 hours ago. I think that's definitely helping Beecher, and it'll be interesting to see how they fare racing alongside some of these other faster drivers. And obviously if it was to finish where it is now in qualifying, having your likes of Matty, Ricker, Kieran and Rusty all behind, it's going to be interesting to see how Beecher fares.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting, and also it can show him if it will show him if he's quick enough for the championship, because you are an admin, of course, and you said to me that you are like in control of season 7 and season 8 already for next season. And are you looking like drivers like Reus or Beertje, who is reserving a lot in the championship, which we like to see, of course, but do you think like this will help him maybe jump up if he has a good result? Or
yes, so not only are we judging the data of the overall pace for someone is, but we do like to see them actually attempt in the league ahead, so that we can really judge if they've got the race pace and the race craft to be able to do it at that higher level. And drivers like Bitcher may well be ones that we looked at making that jump. But either way, as we approach the last minute and drivers are heading backgrounds to complete their final laps, I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to leave you with Luke for the rest of qualifying and the race, and hopefully you'll see me at the checkered flag and not any earlier.
No, hopefully not, and maybe we will see you coming across the line in first place. We will see.
Fingers crossed.
Good luck, and hopefully some good points for Williams. So there was Entity joining us during the qualifying, which is always fun to see, as he will start last, but he had of course a quali ban. I haven't had time to look in the chat. I will do after the qualifying is finished, but in the meantime we will have a look at the final laps. As Stubby is already on the lap, he will be ahead of Giraffe, as Giraffe is now starting his lap. Rose is also just started his lap. He's ahead of Giraffe there, but first, with 20 seconds left, we will follow Stubby. He is in the Haas. He's now in the white car, but he is in the Haas. Approaching sector 2, he's gone purple. It's a bit more than a tenth up here. Oh, he validates, and that's Stubby done. Stubby won't improve. So, unless someone else can close in on Giraffe, it's Giraffe on pole position. Next, Razorbeach is not up on his time. It's someone else. I think it's Smith. No, Smith. No, it's someone else. Who is it? Oh, it's Jeweler. He's in the final corner, and he pulls away as Kieran has invalidated as well. So he's done. Gooey is done. Rusty is gone. Fall Killer is gone, and then we got Leaky. Leaky stays in P10, he doesn't improve, but now we got the other guys. And Razorbeach trying to give a toe to Giraffe, and Giraffe will take the pole position. He goes to 21.0, and then we got Matty behind, or someone else. No, Smith moves up, and that's what I said. He is quick, and he has shown it now. But we got Riker across the line, and then Matty. So still two guys maybe looking at the front row if they can improve by a lot, as Truck Evolution is of course a big thing here. Riker jumps ahead of Matty, only just though. Now Matty, can he jump ahead again? Oh, I don't know if he did, but it was very close. Yeah, Matty now up to P4, as you see on the left, and that's it. And that's Giraffe actually on pole position then for this race, as he is 4.5 tenths ahead of his championship rival and takes crucial points in the championship standings as well. Sorry for that. Beertje there in P3, behind the two championship rivals, ahead of both Mercedes, Matty and Smith, as they are looking to challenge Williams tonight. Rika is in P6 for Alfa Romeo, and then Skiren in P7, Gui in P8, Rusty P9, Leaky P10. Then we got Fall Killer and Jeweler, and then of course Entity will join us during the qualifying as he had a qualifying ban. But yeah, Giraffe had a gap of 2 points to step it up, will be 3 right now. And in the constructors as well, Williams are now crucially 50 points ahead of Mercedes, but everything can still change near the end here, as AlphaTauri will probably drop behind. Oh, as Stubby is I think in the AlphaTauri. I think I got it wrong. Stubby's in the AlphaTauri. Sorry for that. But yeah. I will have a look through the chat then. And Inorganic saying, I don't sound well. I feel better than I sound, I think. But yeah, I'm fine on comms. But it depends. If I'm struggling near the end, you can always jump in and make it 5 wins in a row for Williams. That is what we want to see. Says Colin. And Inorganic saying he was driving the very lovely Alpha. The Alpha looks good. Especially the as you said, the Monza livery. I think that's one of the best liveries I have seen this season and just for a long time. For Hixie saying he's running 25:15 as the wings. Colin saying how many corners until you see the wall. Well, I haven't done any laps. Well, I've done laps before here, but not just as a practice this week. But I will do tomorrow. And Inorganic saying good luck to Mr. Kieran. Pitlane interview. Kieran lost Qatar and he's hoping for a good race to make it past the first corner. That's some beautiful insights we got there. And let's see. And Hixie saying see you in 10 minutes, Entity. And Inorganic saying Hixie 10 minutes. It only takes about a minute and a half to do the formation lap. Long straight to Entity will be back in 2 minutes afterwards. And Kieran is happy with his highest starting position of the season. Hixie saying Beertje should be confident after his performance yesterday. I think so. I mean, and I think this qualifying session brought him extra confidence as he's ahead of some guys. And well, crucially, he's the third fastest as Gui's left, and that's what caused the trouble. As now it's done. He's saying good luck to Kieran. And Entity is behind you, Kieran, so you should be okay. Oh, and Leaky and Jeweler are disqualified. I don't know why. But yeah, Gui left, and that's why we started. It took some time, which is good for me because I could read the chat. Strategy then, high tire wear, of course, but interestingly, Giraffe has gone for the mediums, while 4 other cars, or maybe his rivals, they have gone for the hards. Now I'm also looking at Smith and Matty. They've got the same helmet, I think, the same livery and the same number, so that will be nice for me to make out the difference between the two cars. I just need to look at the left then. It's Rika is now also on the mediums, Kieran is on the hards, Gui is on the mediums, but he left unfortunately. I think he caused some connection problems. Then everyone else is on the hard, same for Entity as he's in the beautiful Williams livery there, the Silverstone Special, and Jeweler is on the mediums as well, but he is disqualified from this formation lap as we are almost entering sector 3 and the final sector to start. What is round 10 as Gui has rejoined. Well, I don't know if that's a lot. Well, he's a reserve anyway, so it doesn't matter too much, but yeah, I hope it doesn't cause any problems, because with these updates I don't know. The sky looks weird as well from my POV, and that might just be me, but I don't know. But still, it doesn't matter. as this is round 10 out of 12 of the championship. Only 2 rounds after this one, and we still have to go to the famous Vegas Strip for one of the rounds, and also a sprint race in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Still anything to play for in both championships, in the championship, and let's see if something dramatically changes tonight. GUI colliding with the air. I don't know about that one, but hopefully it doesn't happen. Yeah. Oh, Giraffe disqualified for wrong parking. Now his tire temperatures will drop down, and that is not ideal for a starting position. Waiting for everyone to line up. The final one, Entity, as we are. Oh, please don't screw up. Waiting for 5 red lights under the night sky in Qatar, and we're off for the first race of RPM at Qatar, and Stubby takes the lead with the better traction into turn 1. Razor will probably not fight that, as Giraffe tries to go around the outside here, which is possible, but he stays behind, and then everyone behind. Let's see, Beertje got P3 still, and someone is up and down, it's Smith, and let's see behind. Good start from Entity as the reserves are dropping down, and Entity is having a look at up the inside of GUI, and he does go up the inside. Now Kieran, and I think he might have damage on the right front. We will have to see. There's a yellow flag. GUI retired. Oh, someone's gone into the wall. It's Smith. Smith is out, and we had the first safety car, but GUI retired as well. I don't know what happened. Ooh, Giraffe, watch out there. We already lost 2 drivers then. Let's see. But we already lost Smith, and that is crucial for. Okay, so calling the sensing doesn't lower your tire time. I think that was the case, but yeah, luckily you corrected me. Yeah, the Williams Gulf livery is nicer, and I will probably get that done before tomorrow. In the meantime, I wanted to look if I saw some wing damage on Kieran's car. Yeah, right front wing damage for Kieran. I don't know how he got that, but he might have had a collision with someone in the midfield, potentially Smith, but everyone else is staying out. Yeah, there is Kieran in from the heart. It's not what he wants, but to be fair, he's not losing a lot during this safety car. But yeah, crucially, Smith is out, which is, if Williams can keep 2 cars in the points, they will get closer and closer, and they might even get the constructors title today. They're 50 points ahead, so someone needs to help. No, they're not. Well, at least they make a big step towards the championship standing. GUI's car exploded again. Wow, that's not nice. Yeah, that's not very safe for him to drive then. But I think Smith just lost it on the traction, unfortunately. But yeah, this is now the chance for Entity to jump ahead of Smith in the championship standings. And let's have a look at the championship standings again. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting them. So Entity is 11 points behind, so he will need to finish P6 or P5 or somewhere around that. I don't know the point system. If someone can put it in the chat, that would help. But yeah, crucially he can get closer. But currently, I think with this result, Stubby would just slightly move ahead of Giraffe again in the standings, with very small margins. But this is not what Smith wants, because potentially is this him out of the championship fight, as he was 30 points behind Giraffe, and with potentially Giraffe winning or Stubby winning, as they are quite close, he would be more than 50 points behind with only 2 races left. And if he wins everything and Stubby and Giraffe don't get any points anymore, that he could still potentially get the title. But that will show that unless something crazy will happen between Stubby and Giraffe, Smith is out of the equation, and same for Entity. But it's not over yet. We're only on lap 2 or lap 3, and it's a safety car. So yeah, we will never know. and Kieran could also move up some crucial positions, almost into the top 10 maybe. Constructors wise, yeah, as we said, Williams is getting closer to that championship, and it's also crucial in I think the all gear. I don't know if I can see that one. It's somewhere, I think. All division. If I look at the all division, Williams is now 58 points ahead of Mercedes, and Alfa Romeo is a bit too far behind for it's 200 points behind Williams. So Williams could also get closer to that all gear championship, which is also nice, as I could potentially win it again, as we lost out with Ferrari to Mercedes last year, but we will see. So it says 25, 20, 17, 15, 13, 11, 9 points. And that's for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the top 7, okay. Which is basically all the points that are still available now, because 1, 2, 3, no, 3 will be removed, so basically 8, but that's about it. So that's good. Colin saying Entity should have done medium, pitted him done medium, but we will see. I need to see that footage of GUI from yesterday. I haven't seen it. A safety car is in this lap, I think. Oh shit, something fell. But let's see, can Giraffe make up from that position he lost at the start? And maybe Rose can do some great work in defending and helping his, well, I would say senior teammate, but that's not the case, as well, he's a rank higher. Giraffe, yes, they're both part of the Williams team, but someone is already overtaking here. Matty, you can't overtake until the line, and it is a long line. Same for Rika, you need to watch out that you don't overtake before the line, and now you can start to overtake. As Rika's up the inside, oh, ooh, a slight touch there. I thought they would crash. Now around the outside, inside for Matty again, and Rika stays behind. And then again to this part of the track, Entity is close behind Rusty. It's the Alpha versus the Williams, and now both Alphas are ahead of Entity there. I will have a look into that footage later. But now Giraffe putting pressure on Stubby, of course, having the better tires and more grip, especially after a safety car restart. Giraffe is looking to move ahead here, but it's difficult, as we do get a nice strain. But to be fair, Birch is very close behind. It's a purple sector now. He's only 2 tenths behind these guys. But let's see, track limits will be crucial here, as they're very easy to pick up. But with a late safety car, yeah, that might affect the result big time. Now onto the straight. Who has the better straight line speed? No, Rose is using a lot, but he's setting the fastest lap, and he's only 2 tenths behind. And the DRS will be activated shortly. But let's see behind us, the two Alphas are fighting. And I would say that Rusty did a nice job in trying to recreate the Alfa Romeo livery there. Leaky and Kieran fighting. Kieran now on the medium tires for P8. He's following him. Difficult to overtake in this section, of course, unless you have a good exit. Oh, sorry. But yeah, Matty is following this group quite nice. So we got a 4-way battle for the lead currently. Oh, I will have a look at the stream then later. Oh, Giraffe is now very close behind, or at least from that POV. Thank you, Lee, for the blessing. Yeah, Giraffe if I did comms yesterday, it would have been fine. It's because this just started this morning. Um, well, Quinn is a bit ill as well, so he had it over the weekend, and now I started to get it. It's all part of his plan to make me lose out points during the Premier race, as he's like became more fit again, and I'm still feeling the effects of the some sort of virus or whatever I got, like bacteria. Well, it's a common cold, to be fair, especially if we had like very hot, warm weather, and now all of a sudden it's cold and windy. Well, welcome to the Netherlands, you could say. It could change in all in one day, and that is not nice for your nose, I suppose, because you will get a running nose from that. In the meantime, not a lot has happened, as we don't have any DRS just yet, and as you can see, it's quite difficult to overtake. But the thing is, Giraffe is saving a lot of his DRS. He's not using any on this straight. He knows he's still within that little DRS, but to be fair, you don't want him to lose out, because otherwise he might drop down and be under pressure from the cars behind. But Matthew will be promoted to P3, of course, in the standings, but still Razor Beertje can go for a podium on track, which would still be nice to see. Now let's see. DRS now enabled. I'll try to keep an eye on the gaps on the left as Kieran moves up to P8 ahead of Leaky in the Alpine. But he's already 3 seconds behind of the group of Entity. Well, just the main group, because everyone is within DRS of each other. But maybe he can catch up. He has no dirty air, and that could be crucial. Looking at this though, I'm surprised Toby has used that much ERS, because I feel like there's no point in fighting. But to be fair, we're already on lap 7 of 29 because of the safety car. It's a quick lap. The track is quite long, but of course with all these fast corners, they go by quite quickly. So I needed some water. I thought about it, but I can't. If there's another safety car, I will quickly go down. Hopefully I won't miss it. The restart, I will get some water. But yeah, in the meantime, Kieran already the first one to pick up the 3-second time penalty, as he's probably pushing to get close to the gap. But we're looking at the front then. Giraffe now 2/10 behind. DRS, ERS activated. There he goes. Along the straight, and he moves ahead, setting the fastest lap during that as well. And then the other Williams of Entity moving ahead, so Williams is making moves as Entity moves up to P6, but that would be points for P5. And looking at that, those are 13 points. Would see him move to P3 in the championship, is what I want to say. But let's see. Yeah, the gap is too close. I need to keep an eye out on if I have a little, maybe just someone behind, like a fall, or could create some sort of virtual safety car. No, but I need to go down completely, or I need to ask Quinn to get it to me. But I don't know if he's listening to me. And I think he's playing a game, because I can hear him through the wall. But yeah, if he's listening, hopefully he can get me some water from my school bag, but I don't think he is. Well, Jerome is outside of the DRS, and if Matty is making a move, I will follow Matty. But if the gaps are starting to get bigger, I will take my phone with me so I can see what happens in the meantime, as Giraffe sets the fastest lap, but he isn't really going for it, so I will just follow the leaders then, and I will quickly get some water in a second, so I will be back shortly, as I see someone running wide. But yeah, potentially in the lap while I'm gone, Stubby might lose out to Razor, but that's about it. I'm back again. Got some refreshing water. But I was looking, in the meantime everyone picked up penalties. Matty, I sound out of breath, but I didn't even run or something. Just glad to get some water, and it's hot in here as well. Maybe I'm just not fit, that's why I'm starting to feel a bit hot, but yeah, Matty moved up to P3, Reusebeek got a penalty, and so did Rusty, Kieran and Julia. I thought Julia go off. In the meantime, I'll have a look at the penalties. Yeah, Kieran on 6 already after 10 laps now, and that is crucial for him, and he's not catching the guys in front of him as well. So with the with Beertje removed from the standings, Kieran is possibly looking at a maximum position of P7, but currently we dropped down to P8 behind Leaky as well. But we see gaps are starting to form now at the front, but Rika is trying to overtake Beertje on track. Kieran again, he's already on 9 now. He's almost got more time penalties than he has done racing laps. Someone is out, it's Juler, and that is a safety car. And why couldn't it have just not come a lap earlier or something? I would have at least got enough time to get my water and not miss anything. But yeah, it's a perfect timing for the medium, or for the medium runners, I guess. I'm not sure. I feel like it's a good time, but well, you need to do about 18 laps, but also you'll do some of that during the safety car. But the tire wear is high around this, so I don't know if you can make it. But the hards are also in a good position now, because if they can, with these safety cars, can extend their stint, they might go to the softs at the end. Let's see if they will go in. And Giraffe is in. Stubby continues. No, Stubby's in. Interesting. Matty is in. Rose is in. Rika is in. Entity is in. Rusty is in. Kieran is in. Leaky is in. Everyone is in. Welcome to the chaos. Now let's see who double stacks here. I think everyone is fine, no? Yeah, I think everyone is fine. Just about though. You could take the mediums to the end from here. Interesting. So basically Giraffe is on the better strategy then. Oh yeah, I know how frustrating it is to get those penalties. I think my dad said before as well that sometimes when I crash out or something, like I had in Singapore with 2 laps to go, well, I was in P6 or something. I think I smashed, no, not smashed, but I hit my steering wheel as well. And sometimes they always say you can hear it from downstairs, so I know how it feels. But yeah, last week we had the same in Japan, where and the timing of the safety car was perfect for Giraffe, so he could go to the hards and take them to the end. And I feel like we are in the same situation now. It's also a bit of luck you need maybe in the championship battle. Not saying Stubby is just unlucky all the time, but maybe Giraffe has more luck in that sense. But you also yeah, you also bring out your own luck, so who knows. And Kieran is not happy. Well, at least he made it further than turn 1 this time. And but I want to remind you of a quote said by a certain someone in this chat, not too long ago, saying, "My highest starting position, I'm back." Yeah, and Kieran, I know how it feels. Sometimes it drains your uh, enjoyment, and I've had that especially this season. Not because I'm necessarily slow or something, but just bad luck and stuff. As Fall Killer goes in as well, he is now the final card to go in. And we have 17 of you guys in the chat, so that is nice to see for this championship race. Oh, I thought there was another yellow flag, but that's just the safety car on the top left. But let's see. But Rika is in a good position now as well on those hearts. And Kieran, he said he was his enjoyment is being drained and he's losing his sanity, but to be fair, he is on those hearts. I know he has 9 seconds worth of penalties, but if he gets no penalties from this moment onwards, other drivers will start to get them more and more, and well, he won't lose at 9. Oh, what happened? What? Huh? How is Stubby overtaken Giraffe during the safety car? Now this is interesting. Another twist in the championship battle, because I don't know if Giraffe made a mistake during the safety car or Stubby just got alongside and had the position. But I don't feel like he's giving it back or trying to. Which situation we're currently in? Entity though up to P6 now, but he will jump up to P5 anyway, points wise, because of Beertje, and he is therefore looking at a P4, but not that far off the podium as well. We already lost 3 guys, 2 of them are reserves, but the safety car is in this lap, and we will get the restart again with Stubby in front of Giraffe. This time the tires are switched. It's Giraffe on the hards, Stubby on the mediums. And let's see, can Stubby take them? Will he take them to the end? And can he hold on? Or will Giraffe get by quickly? I feel like Giraffe had more pace though in that few laps between the 2 safety cars. Safety car is into the long pit lane. And I think Stubby is going... No, and there he goes. And it looks like Matty had a better restart. But he can overtake from now. But look at the slipstream Giraffe got out of there. All of a sudden he's ahead into turn 1. And I don't know how he got... Oh, really Beertje there. Trying to avoid Rika smashing into the back of him. He's moving down to P6 now. So Entity and Rika move ahead. Very close fight for the lead now. But Entity is looking at that P4, trying to overtake the Alfa Romeo. But the Mercedes guy, Mr. Matty, trying to overtake Stubby. Ooh, almost contact there. As he runs wide. And now can Stubby put pressure on Giraffe again, but could restart there. I was just reading the chat for a quick second, so I might have lost focus there. And Kieran is losing a lot of time now. He's losing to Leaky and he's almost losing to Fall as well. Fall around the outside, but I need to switch back to Stubby. A lot happening now. The gaps are very close. Well, they have been for majority of the race, but they were just starting to get bigger and bigger. But now, of course, the safety car will bring them back to each other. And Giraffe will defend, using more of his overtake as Fall Killer overtakes Kieran as Kieran moves into the pit lane. And Giraffe sets the fastest lap. But Stubby is only a 10th behind there. And I wonder if Kieran will retire, I'm not sure. He might join me in the comms. But Stubby right behind me. Well, to be fair, speaking about the comms, they somehow PlayStation have a new thing with parties, and I don't know how it works. I wanted to start a party like I normally do, but I couldn't select the RPM booth. I just created my own party, so I will need to have a look into that one. But yeah, for now it doesn't matter as there's no one joining me. But let's see, can someone fight back from this? Both hard runners creating a little bit of a train behind them. And I do have to say, Rusty is doing quite well here at MP7. He's having a good race so far. I think he's missed a few before this one. But let's see. Yeah, the chat room. Yeah, I don't. There's some weird updates, man. Sometimes I think like you have a system that works. Why change it? You know. Not for the better, but for worse. And I think did Ridgebait set the fastest lap? Oh no, it was Giraffe. As we go back to interval, then DRS might have been enabled now. So we're on lap 16 already. I know tomorrow will be a challenge for me, because when you're feeling a bit ill, normally your body temperature, or at least the temperature you feel like is rising more than, or your body temperature is higher than normally. So you already feel quite hot and start to sweat. And then doing a race, which is quite intense because you need to keep the concentration. Yeah, Stubby spins! Oh no! Did he hit the wall? With his rear wing, I'm not sure. But he's losing out to P9 and P8 now. And my timing there, I was just following on board and speaking about losing focus. But that is crucial in the championship, and Giraffe will be smiling under that helmet. In the meantime, Entity moves up to P3, and that means the Williams is in P1 and P3 now. And Entity is looking at, I think, 20 points. No, 17. 17 points, moving him 6 points ahead. And Stubby would still be in the fight for P7. But yeah, crucial points then lost. Stubby would only get 9 points. And currently with the fastest lap in the hands of Giraffe, Giraffe will get 26. So 15 points gained, with plus the pole position is 16 points gained, where the gap, he already had a gap of 2. And the maximum of 25 points per race available means that if this is the final result, which of course it won't be, Giraffe could potentially get the title next week. Now we don't know that for sure. Also, the fun thing is I've saw that in real life as well. We're looking at, of course, not if Verstappen will be champion, but when. And he can't be champion in Japan just yet, but he could be champion in Qatar, and that Qatar is a sprint weekend, I think, which will be very fun though, because I feel like this track is good for sprints. But he could win the title on a Saturday, which I haven't seen before, but we will see. And Stubby then moves back up to P7 now, ahead of Leaky, but now he has a gap of 6 seconds. Well, to be fair, the guy's ahead of a penalty, but Matty's putting pressure on Giraffe. Kieran dropped those hearts, and I guess they're not great to do during a race stint, as BH picks up another 3-second time penalty. Oh, I almost choked on the water. Okay, we're back though. 6 tenths, and Giraffe used a lot of his ERS. Matty currently the only Mercedes still in the race, fighting their championship rival Williams. But he is doing it alone against the two Williams drivers. DRS open, but he isn't gaining too much on the straight. But there at the top of your screen you can see Stubby turning onto the straight as well, so he has a big gap to close in now, and he would want some sort of safety car near the end to maybe get a chance of getting close to the front again. Of course, no rain tonight, so no craziness. But we got Birch putting pressure on Reka, and Entity can't really keep up with the guys ahead. Matty's closing in the corners because he clearly has more downforce compared to Giraffe, but yeah, if the DRS isn't really helping you trying to overtake because the guy ahead has less wings, it will be a struggle, and you really need to be closer than 4 or 5 tenths. As now it's 3 tenths. Try to avoid those high sausage curbs. Lovely part, this is sector 3. But it's now 4 tenths into the final corner as he passes the detection point of the DRS. And here he goes, 4 tenths, is it enough? Using the ERS, he's closing in rapidly now, and he's past Giraffe slots behind, but Matty is in the lead, and he is ahead of both Williamses now. And Stubby would love to see that, as that would mean 5 points less for Giraffe right now, but of course Giraffe might have a tire advantage in the coming laps. Let's see behind as Razor or Birch is putting pressure, and I still need to get used to his name and not being Razor Birch again. But Birch is putting pressure as Kieran picks up another 3-second time penalty. And if he would give everyone 1 second of it, he would still have 3. That says a lot about how much time penalties he has. But Birch putting pressure on P4, he of course has 6 seconds worth of penalty, so he wouldn't. Well, he needs to create a gap of 6 seconds, which I don't see him doing in those final laps, especially because the hards will get better, of course. The question is, can Giraffe keep up? It's now almost 8 tenths of a second here. Well, he's closing in 7 now. And Volkiller picks up 3-second time penalty as a reserve. But let's see, Birch is close behind, but I also need to keep an eye out on Giraffe. I don't know how quickly he's gaining. Is it enough? No, I don't think it is. And Birch is passed back up into P4 again. So 3 of the Williams racing team in the top 4. Basically they are all following each other into 3 and 4. But now Giraffe quite close behind Matty again. But crucially, Stubby within that 3 seconds. No, within that 3 seconds of Rusty, so he will jump out to P6, and that would be P5 with Birch removed from those standings. Stubby is currently looking at a P5, but still his main championship rivals up there in P2. And those are crucial points, but still everything can happen. I think the final race of the season is Vegas, so you never know what happens in Vegas. And I love to get to see the excitement of the title decider. But let's see. Giraffe now 4 tenths. Leaky picks up a penalty. Rusty picks up another penalty. But here comes Giraffe into turn 1. He's closing in rapidly, but he's ahead. And we have 7 laps to go. And Giraffe is back into the lead. And Entity still in P3. And then Birch ahead of Rika, Rusty and Stubby. And behind that we got the 2, well I wouldn't say 2 reserves. Kieran is of course the main driver, but Kieran is down in P10. and he's not having the best of times yet. But he would get points for P8 currently, which is still something positive at least. It's not a lot, but it's also not nothing. Well, it's better than nothing, of course. Can Matty keep up? I want to see some insight into the tires, you know, because I feel like I don't know any information on tire wear currently, but I think that Matty's tire wear could be quite high right now compared to Giraffe's, of course. Well, it says they did 10 laps, but that we also had like 3 or 2 of them were safety car laps, so who knows. Stubby now picking up 3-second time penalty. Ooh, interesting. Only 4 cars who haven't picked up any penalties. Ooh, Matty now risking it up the inside. He's braking a bit earlier there, lift and coast. Maybe trying to save some ERS as well, and fuel. But let's see, Ricka's now close behind Birch again. And same for Stubby behind Rusty. 15 or 16 laps on green on the medium should be good. Hearts be better by about lap 12 maybe. Okay, yellow flag. Oh, it's Giraffe, he's lost his wing. Oh, it's a virtual safety car. But another turn in the championship here. Oh, and I think Rusty overtook there. Oh, Stubby. But Stubby will be loving this, seeing his championship rival ahead of him with no wing. It's a virtual safety car, but Matty is in the lead, and Matty might have a win here. Let's restart. I thought I still had time. Oh shit, there goes my bottle. But yeah, Stubby now up to P6 ahead of Rusty, and he will move ahead of his championship rival as Giraffe drops down to P7 now, and he will drop down further as there's a caution in sector 3. That is him, of course, with 3 seconds. This is the gap between Entity and Matty, and as we said before, I said to Entity, potentially we could see you come across the line first. Now still Matty is ahead, but he's still in P2, and for his championship as Ricka moves up to P3, for his championship this is crucial to gain on both leaders to still be in this fight. He was 30 points behind, well, a bit more, I think 40, but still with these as Stubby will get points for P4, he would at least gain 5 points. It's not nothing, but it's not a lot. But look at that, Giraffe will drop down to P10. Now that will be P8 with reserves removed, but still not ideal. And it is a disaster for Giraffe there. It's so close to the end. Yeah, basically, I don't know what happened because I was looking at something else, but maybe I will see something in the chat. Of course, I'm a Williams driver, so I might see something in the chat there. But yeah, crazy circumstances for this championship. In the championship today, and it's still not over, but let's see where they will end up at the end of the race. Giraffe probably will get the point for fastest lap though, which is another crucial point in the championship, but he was 3 points ahead, including, or 2 points ahead, and 1 point will go to him for the pole position, so we need to keep that in mind. And oh, Beers is looking up the inside there of Rika. But let's see, can Entity push to Matty, or is Matty in control of this race and bringing home some valuable points for the Mercedes team as Jeweler. Oh, he's left the session, but he already was out of this one. But let's have a look at penalties then. As yeah, so Giraffe will move ahead of Kieran, he will move ahead of Fall and Beercher, so he would be in P7, but then chasing the top 6, a difficult challenge, but it's still not over. A late safety car and he could jump up to P4 again, but we will have to see as long as he doesn't cause it, of course. But gaps are starting to get bigger now as we enter the final stages of this race. And I know Giraffe will be fuming with that about that one. Maybe see some crash gate, you know, Beertje crashing out to give Williams a chance to restore some good points if he's listening. As we enter lap 26 of 29. And there he is, 4 tenths behind, but look, let's have a look at Giraffe then. Fastest sector 2, he's right behind Kieran. He will move to P8 on track, but he needs 21 seconds to Leaky in just 3 laps or 4 laps. Here he comes. Oh, Kieran trying to defend. Fastest lap, there he goes. Giraffe out to P9 on track then. Beertje still chasing Rika there. And Inorganic will be blocking the side of that. Oh, he picks up another penalty. Beertje. As Giraffe moves up to P8 then, which I think Rusty as well. He might be up to P, or might be looking at a P5 if Beertje is getting more. So good points for Alfa Romeo. As Kieran moves ahead of Fall Killer. But we're still not at the end. Lap 27 as we enter turn 1 again. And Stubby, even after his mistake, will be happy with this result, of course, as his championship right. Oh, Kieran again, another penalty. He might be close to a disqualification there. So with the 3 seconds of Leaky, sorry, with the 3 seconds of Leaky, Giraffe will need to make up 17 seconds in the final 3 laps to get P6. Which is only 2, will at the end only be 2 positions behind Stubby. And the Alfa Romeo boys are doing you proud. Yeah, they are. I'm still surprised Reka hasn't got the tire advantage from right about now, you know. It's too far to Matty. Matty's controlling the pace at the front. But Beertje is doing, well, showing amazing pace tonight. And Reka has no ERS left. Beertje not using any, he's just trying to defend. Nope. Is he going up the inside? No, he's waiting. Yeah, he's not going to risk it, of course. He's a reserve. Will only overtake if it's an easy overtake on a straight. I think Rusty might lose out to Leaky as well, yeah. If Giraffe can get within 3 seconds of Leaky, he might take Leaky and Rusty and still finish up 1 place behind Stubby, but of course he probably won't gain like 10 seconds a lap now, unless he's Verstappen on Leclerc at the end of the Singapore Grand Prix, but I won't see that happen. But it's not ideal for Rika, as he would have wanted, would be hoping to close in on Entity probably, but yeah, he has to keep an eye out on what's happening behind him. Stubby's not closing in as rapid as I thought he would. As Matty enters the final lap of this race in the Mercedes, leading. His teammate was out on the first lap, but he's capitalizing on the mistakes from the championship rivals and leaders. Oh, And Rizvich had to go up the inside, but he didn't do anything from that. And we'll just follow Matty then on board in the final lap. Here in sector 2 for the final time. And through this beautiful SS into the final sector of tonight for the first race in Qatar on in the championship division on RPM. 4 seconds the gap to Entity behind, more than enough. The tires, they performed until the very end, 17 laps on those mediums. He is entering the final corner then. It is the black and teal colored Mercedes from the F1 world. Matty will take the win in Qatar. He finishes first. Entity for the Williams team takes second place, and Ricca for the Alfa Romeo team finishes third. Then Razorbeach finishes fourth on track, but he will be removed, and that was Stubby's P4, and he's weaving across the line, knowing he finished ahead of his championship rival. It will be Rusty, but Leaky will jump ahead, I think. Yeah, Leaky will finish P5 there in the Alpine. Rusty P6 after Razorbeach. But then the main man, Giraffe, he will finish down in P7. And yeah, he will be very frustrated with his result. Kieran finishes 9 in P9, and he will take home points for P8. So having a look at the standings then, or at the points someone sent in the chat before. Let's see. Yeah, so Stubby got 15, and Giraffe got 9, but he got 1 extra for pole position and 1 for fast lap, so that's 11. So 4 points is what Stubby gained on Giraffe, and he was only 2 points behind. So he would jump ahead again by 2 points, so still very close, but I'm seeing someone joining me who was in here before.
Well, I thought I enjoyed qualifying, being sat in the comms booth with yourself. I thought, that's a comfier chair than the seat in that Williams, and so here I am. I said I'd be on the podium, and I said I'd be back.
You will be back a bit later than some of the guys in the chat expected, but you proved them wrong. But yeah, P2. So tell us about it.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of luck in that. It was a fantastic start. I managed to get from 13th to 8th. Had a poor kind of getaway on the line, but that was me just being a bit more cautious following the previous incidents. But after the first 2 corners, found myself to 8th. Then by the end of the lap, up to 7th. And then luckily, there was incidents that were ahead that helped me. I had some good racing with Rusty Oil Can and Riker as well. Both of them just phenomenal pace, but it's just about reading the ERS usage, and I was able to do that. Obviously, unfortunately, Stubby dropped it, as did Giraffe, which was really disappointing because he had the race win there in sights. But Matty, just that pace on that second stint, out of nowhere, just he put the foot down and he was gone. And Giraffe was struggling, hoping that he would have had him playing the long game with the hard tyres lasting longer than the mediums. But then obviously he dropped it himself, just racing with him. So all credit goes there to Matty, who a deserved winner tonight.
Yeah, I think you guys are in a party, no, with Giraffe, or you are?
Correct. Yes.
So you knew the live reaction to what happened.
The live reaction. I thought that it started raining, to be honest, and I thought I got ready to set the intermediate tyres. There was just that many tears coming down the headset that I'm confused it for a wet track.
Not sweat?
But it wasn't sweat if you were Giraffe. Sweating that you were losing your championship victory there. But it's interesting though, because obviously Stud does still pick up some good points. Giraffe's the same, even because there was a few reserves in there. Beecher had some great pace again. But yeah, it closes up the championship again, keeps me in it even after a qualifying ban.
That's true.
But I don't think I'm not going for the champion. I will
Well,
go
you
on
never
record
know.
and I'll rule myself out of the championship. But hopefully, a pole or a race victory this season would be good.
Yeah, that would be nice. Imagine that the final race in Vegas, you are still potentially in, and then Giraffe and Stubby crash out and you win. That would be an amazing final.
If that happens, then I think we'll be going to Vegas in real life to celebrate.
That would be amazing. Well, you moved up to P3 though, as Smith crashed out on the opening lap. So good points for Williams on Mercedes. I think you guys already got the constructors, or at least very close to it.
Not sure. I haven't actually checked, to be honest. But if we have, then that's brilliant news. We've worked really hard this year as to be a team. Previous years we've worked somewhat as a team, but there's been that competitive edge. Whereas this year we've very much been playing the team game for this season because we wanted to win something, and that's the all constructors Williams. So to have brought home second, Giraffe got the pole and fastest lap as well. All contributes to it.
Yeah, also some decent points, and that's why also Giraffe still hasn't lost that too much due to the pole and the fastest lap. But I had one final question though, as I was interested to know what the tire wear was like at the end on the mediums after doing 17 laps.
It was high. It was about 70%, 60-70s. I know obviously that over 75 to the 80s is where you can then get puncture territory. I think Matty's tyres were in a worse shape than mine, but he had built up enough of a lead because on the penultimate couple of laps the gap went down a bit, but he might have just been relaxing. He was so far ahead, he deserved that victory, and yeah, he built up a good enough lead so he could put his could relax and rest his tyres a bit more.
Yeah, because I was surprised. I saw like Rico behind on the hards, and someone said in the chat like at one point the hards will get better than the mediums because the tire wear is less, but he didn't seem to catch. Maybe that's just your pace, but
I think he was battling with Bircher, which was just enough to have maybe used his ERS or just those marginal gains, which is all it's been coming down to in Championship Division, is to being in the right place at the right time or getting a marginal gain out of something, be that penalties or you yourself taking a hit of doing track limits and taking a warning. These marginal gains are so crucial in the championship and how it's been throughout. There's been some fantastic racing. We've had Smith and Matty setting the early pace. There was Nats and Simo as well in Austria, who did phenomenally well. Giraffe and I are obviously names in there. Stubbs then raised the bar.
Haas, unlucky performances, but still quick.
Yeah, and obviously there was Bakker and Lauwen at Astons, if I didn't say already. And it's just so many people, and it was very much marginal gains at any point. And I think where Bircher was racing with Riker, potentially strained Riker's ERS or used his tyres to defend and battling, and I think that's helped me out massively there.
A bit of Williams help from the other Williams.
A little bit of Williams help, but interesting. That was what cost me. It cost me a win in Monza. Granted, I did still then get a penalty, but in Monza, I reckoned I could have got stub and stayed within that 30-second time penalty. But it was a battle with Riker, which prevented that. So Riker again battling away, and this time it's cost himself a chance at me, and I think he probably could have got past me.
Yeah, interesting results and strategies here. I think the championship, if we compare it to last season, I was on comms as well. This has been a great season. I missed majority of it because I was on holiday, but still, watching it and doing it, I think, and you can see that in the championship as well. I think there are only like 2 or 3 points in between the championship leaders going into the final after 10 rounds, going into the final 2. So it isn't over yet, and we will for sure see some exciting races in the final 2. But yeah, thank you all for joining me tonight. It was a bit of a struggle at one point with the old voice and health, but yeah, thank you for having the patience with me on that one. and all the engagement in chat as well. It's also always nice to see. It helps me get through it, especially when you're alone on comms. And thank you, Entity, as well, for joining me during the qualifying and after the race. And yeah, well done on the P2.
Hashtag justice for Entity.
That's it. Hashtag justice for Entity. That's how we will end. And I will say, we will be back tomorrow. I will be racing again. Shocker. I know it hasn't been much that season, but I will be there. And this time I mean it. And yeah, I think that will be as exciting as well. So make sure to watch that one. And otherwise, we will see you guys next week for another exciting race in this championship, and potentially a championship decider if everything goes completely wrong for one person and completely right for the other. But for now, thank you all, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye bye.